Discourse on Protection with Blessings Maṅgala Sutta. By Bhikkhu Uttamo. Texts. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. 1. Not consorting with fools. 2. Consorting with the wise. 3. Paying homage to those worthy of homage. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 4. Residing in a suitable place. 5. Having made merit in the past. 6. Directing oneself rightly. This is this highest protection with a blessing. 7/8. Bahu Sakans ca Sipan ca. Broad knowledge, skill. 9. Well-mastered discipline. 10. Well-spoken words. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 11. Mata Pitu Upathanam. Support for one's parents. 12. Putta Darasa Sangaho. Assistance to one's wife and children. 13. Anukula ca Kamanta. Consistency in one's work. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 14/15. Dananka Dharma Kariya ca. Giving, living in rectitude. 16. Natakanan ca Sangaho. Assistance to one's relatives. 17. Anavajani Kamani. Blameless deeds. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 18. Arati Varati Papa. Avoiding, abstaining from evil. 19. Marja Pana ca Sanamo. Refraining from intoxicants. 20. Apamado ca Demesu. Being heedful of the qualities of the mind. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 21/22. Garavo ca Navato ca. Respect, humility. 23/24. Santuti ca Katanuta. Contentment, gratitude. 25. Kalina Dharmasavanam. Hearing the Dharma on timely occasions. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 26/27. Kanti ca Sovakasata. Patience, compliance. 28. Samananan ca Dasanam. Seeing contemplatives. 29. Kalina Dharma Sakaka. Discussing the Dharma on timely occasions. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 30/31. Tapo ca Brahmacharyan ca. Austerity, celibacy. 32. Arya Sakana Dasanam. Seeing the noble truths. 33. Nibbana Sakikariya ca. Realizing unbinding. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. 34. Futhasa Loka Damehi. A mind that, when touched by the ways of the world. Sitam Yasa Na Kampati. Is unshaken. 35, 36, 37. Asokam Virajam Kemam. Sorrowless, dustless, secure. Etam Maṅgalam Uttamam. This is the highest protection with a blessing. Etadizani Katvana. Sabatam Aparahita. Sabata Sothim Gakanti. Tam Tessam Maṅgalam Uttaman, Nti. Everywhere undefeated. When acting in this way, people go everywhere in well-being. This is the highest protection with a blessing. Nearly all the Theravada Buddhists heard this sutta chanting before. The Buddhist children learned it from monasteries and schools. At the time of the Buddha, men and deities pondered, discussed and argued about the true meaning of blessings, Maṅgala. Different people had a different view, and they could not agree to the 12 years of debates. The Pali word Maṅgala means auspicious and often referring to lucky signs. In this discourse, it had the meanings of a thing conducive to happiness and welfare. Therefore, most scholars translated it as blessing. The question of the debate among human beings was, what is the blessing? Everyone has his, her views and opinion of the types of blessing. These depend on their experiences with the 5 senses of eye, ear, nose, tongue and body. There is nothing strange that they do not come to a final agreement. Everyone has his, her level of knowledge, so the understanding is different. A man hungering and thirsting for money will think about money. So, these people are competing and fighting for power, for example, politicians. Therefore, every human's view and thinking are very important because it relates to his, her action. Right view and thought lead to right actions, then the outcomes are peace and happiness. The opposite ways lead to sufferings, chaos, problems and dangers. At first, the question was asked starting from human beings and then earth deities ruled by 4 divine kings. It continued up until the deities of the Akanata realm, the highest pure abode, dwelt with Aryan Brahma gods. It seemed even Aryan Brahma gods could not give the right satisfied answers except by the Buddha. So, a commotion about blessings arose in the world. Here the word commotion is for the Pali, kolahala, and some translate as rumor, which is not exact meaning. Rumor can be true or maybe not. Kolahala always come true. There were 5 kinds of kolahala mentioned in the texts. These were 1. Commotion about the eon, kapakolahala. This was doomsday mentioned in the Buddhist text. The desire sphere deities, Kamaloka devatas, made announcements to human as followed. The end of the world would occur after 100,000 years. The world would perish, the great ocean would dry up, the earth and mountains would burn up and perish. All these destructions would occur up to the Brahma world, that is, the first jhanic place, burnt down the 3 lower Brahma worlds. They ask the humans to develop the 4 Brahmaviharas, loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy and equanimity, attend on parents, respect the elders in the family. These were also mentioned in the Maṅgala Sutta. They should be vigilant and heedful. 2. Commotion about a wheel-turning monarch. The same desire sphere deities wandered among humans and made the announcements that a wheel-turning monarch would arise in the world after 100,000 years. 3. Commotion about a Buddha. The deities of the pure abodes, that is, Aryan Brahma gods, filled with rapture and joy proclaimed the excellent attributes of a Buddha. They wandered among humans and made the announcements that a Buddha would arise in the world after 100,000 years. 4. Commotion about blessings. The deities of the pure abodes wandered among humans and made the announcements that the Buddha would explain the blessings after 12 years. 5. Commotion about the way of a sage, Maniwaya. The deities of the pure abodes wander among humans and made the announcements that a monk would meet the Buddha and ask about the way of a sage, Maniwaya, after 7 years. The way to arahantship is called Maniwaya. Maniya practices are very severe and more difficult than Dhutanga practices. With every Buddha only had 1 disciple for this practice. Nalaka hermit was the one who practiced Maniwaya. See Suttanipata, 3. Mahavago, 11. Nalakasuttam, SN 3-11 Nalaka Sutta. At last, the commotion about the blessings arrived at the ruler of the Tavatimsa heaven, Sakka. He was wise and knew that no one could give the right answer except the Buddha. So, he sent a young Devata to the Buddha and asked the question about blessings, Maṅgala. The young deity went to the Buddha for the answer, and he was staying in Savatthi at Jeta's grove, Anathapindika's monastery. The Buddha gave the answers to different kinds of blessing from the mundane to the supramundane levels. Buddhists recite it for blessings and free from dangers. Reciting is reminding us and for contemplation. The most important point is put into practice. All the Buddha's teachings were nearly on human beings and the human mind. It was more like education than a religion. A being born into the human world has two ways to choose and walk along on one of the paths. One is downfall and failures. The other is development and success. These are the unwholesome and wholesome ways or negative and positive ways. All of them are related to the law of actions, karma, or cause and effect. To choose the right one, we need wholesome education and have to rely on the teachings of the Buddha, noble beings, and ancient sages. There was also a counterpart of Maṅgala Sutta in the Suttanipata called Downfall, Parabhava Sutta, SN 1-6. Parabhava Suttam. This was a deity came to ask the Buddha about the causes of a person's failure and leading to perish. The question appeared in their minds after the deities knew about the blessings. We should not only know about the progress and success in life and after, but also the causes of failures and downfalls, so that we should know what should have to follow and what should have to avoid. The Buddha gave the causes one by one up to the 12th cause and stopped there because the deity stopped asking. The causes of downfall in the sutta were 1. One who detests the Dharma, for example, the 10 causes of wholesome karma. 2. Associating with bad people and preferring their teaching, for example, the 10 unwholesome karma. 3. Indolence. 4. Not supporting one's parents, not taking care of them, not serving them. With this point we can appreciate the wisdom of the Chinese sages, the Shao Tao as a foundation of progress. 5. Deceptive speech. 6. Miserliness. Here the Buddha mentioned very rich people indulgence in sensual pleasures and a miser to others. Even in US we heard news about a wealthy politician using public funds for pleasure. 7. Social pride. Look down on one's relatives. 8. Sexual promiscuity. Indulgence in liquor, fondness for gambling. 9. Not content with one's wife, with others' wives and prostitutes. 10. With old age marries a girl and could not sleep from jealousy over her. There was a Thai news some years ago. A 74-years-old man married a 14-years-old girl. 11. Debauched, spendthrift. 12. With little wealth and strong craving, no contentment, with strong craving and thirst for power. We can see that politicians thirst for money and businessmen's thirst for power in today's world. After the Buddha explaining the 12th cause for downfall and the deity stopped for asking other causes. The reason was he found no pleasure in the causes of downfall. Countless of deities had strong samvega in the teaching and practiced accordingly, attained the fruits of stream entry, one returner and non-returner respectively. Although the Buddha stopped the causes of downfall further, we can continue the contemplation. In the small booklet of Abhidhamma in Daily Life, by Sayadaw Ashen Janakabhivamsa, it mentioned about the unwholesome and wholesome mental factors, akasala and kasala cetasikas. There are 14 unwholesome mental states or factors affecting the mind, citta, towards negative directions and results. These are 1. Delusion, 2. Shamelessness, 3. Fearlessness of wrong, 4. Restlessness, 5. Greed, 6. Wrong view, 7. Conceit, 8. Hatred, 9. Envy, 10. Avarice, 11. Worry, 12. Sloth, 13. Torpor, and 14. Doubt. There are 14 mental factors affecting the mind towards positive directions and results. These are 1. Faith, 2. Mindfulness, 3. Shame of doing wrong, 4. Fear of doing wrong, 5. Non-greed, 6. Non-hatred, 7. Non-delusion, 8. Loving friendliness, 9. Compassion, 10. Appreciative joy, 11. Equanimity, 12. Right speech, 13. Right action, 14. Right livelihood. We can select out the roots related to these two groups of unwholesome and wholesome mental factors. We will get 3 roots from each group. For unwholesome roots are 1. Greed, 2. Hatred, 3. Delusion. For wholesome roots are 1. Non-greed, 2. Non-hatred, 3. Non-delusion. From the lists of unwholesome dharmas and its roots, and wholesome dharmas and its roots, human beings have the choices to choose for their downfall and welfare. Following the path of unwholesome roots will lead to downfall and sufferings, whereas it will lead to development, success, peace and happiness with the wholesome roots. People without proper knowledge and education usually end up with the negative path. Instead of making friends with the wholesome roots, they choose the enemies as teachers. The Buddha not only taught about downfall and blessings, but also transcended them. Therefore, there are 3 paths or ways opening to everyone. It is the good time and opportunity now to transcend dukkha by following the 37 or 38 blessings which mentioned in the Maṅgala Sutta. We should not miss this chance. It is also interesting to compare some of the mundane blessings mentioned by the Buddha with some of the teachings of the ancient Chinese sages. There were some similarities between them. Maybe this was one of the reasons Chinese people easily accepted Buddhism when it was spreading into China. We are learning the Maṅgala Sutta by heart even at a young age as children. But we are still distancing ourselves with it from the practical way of life. Therefore, we have to study and learn it and then use it in daily life.